Welcome back everyone, my name is LastKnownMeal and today we're gonna be talking about Cyberpunk 2077. Remember what I said long time ago about CD Projekt Red? And I don't want this video to be only about praising them, even though they do deserve it. There is also another side of the coin, because being the good guy in the industry puts you in the spotlight. If you make one tiny mistake, people will notice, and you will get 2 times as much hate as another company that does it every week. Well, this aged really well, didn't it? And my fears did come true, so to put things into perspective, 2 days ago we found out that Cyberpunk 2077 will be delayed to September 17th, 2020. This decision was welcomed with a lot of support from the community because it means developers have more time to work on the game and deliver something we will enjoy in the end. CD Projekt Red then did a board call and Adam Kaczynski, the CEO of CD Projekt, was asked about the crunch and this was his response. To some degree, yes, to be honest. We try to limit crunch as much as possible, but it is in its final stage. We try to be reasonable in this regard, but yes, unfortunately. And all of a sudden you had multiple gaming news outlets jump to this for some of that sweet traffic money. That includes of course GameSpot, that is obviously baiting people to read their article without reaching out to the developers to ask them about those hours, to actually get their side of the story. And somehow, from this statement that Adam Kaczynski gave, they managed to say that they're going to work extra longer hours without actually reaching out to those same developers to ask about it. Same with Kotaku. Jason is quick enough to put a Cyberpunk picture across his article, video game delays cause more crunch. And if those same journalists pretend they care about the industry, why are they doing everything in their power to damage their companies? A company that is doing everything to give you the best games and not milk your money. There is also this article from One Angry Gamer. Honestly, Ethan, do you actually believe in the stuff you're writing about? More diversity? Huh? Now, to go back to the crunch, the reason I'm so angry at Jason and other writers is because this is not the first time they did something like this. If you remember, Marcin Nowinski, the co-founder and joint CEO of CD Projekt, and the head of the studio, Adam Badowski, decided to sit down with Jason Schreier and talk about crunch, explaining to him how the studio took positive steps to ensure that they are actually reducing crunch, and that the mistakes of The Witcher 3 and how the company was functioning back then is not going to happen again. And what happens? Jason twisted the story to benefit his narrative. He is doing the same thing right now. So MadQueen from the Cyberpunk community reached out to a couple of developers from CD Projekt Red, and this is the answer we got from one of them. Keep in mind, identity is not going to be revealed. It's kinda true what Adam and Marcin are saying there. Right now we are in crunch mode. However, it's not as bad as before. In The Witcher 3 times, if the studio was messaged that we're entering crunch, everybody had to stay and work regardless of the fact if they had things to do. Right now, it's all based on our schedule and performance. If we manage to do our stuff on time and it gets approved by QA, we can leave after 8 hours. Nobody makes us stay or looks down at us for it. Now, that is of course the situation in my team. There are teams that are far worse than us, especially Quest Design, since their work directly impacts how fun the game is. There are also teams that are at the very end of the pipeline when it comes to creating in-game assets, like the audio team. In times like this, the more time is wasted on prior steps of the pipeline, they get less and less time to do their pass on it. In the end, the situation at the studio is very far from the doom and gloom times of The Witcher 3 final year. I'm glad that we could go past that as a studio. We're not fully there yet, but I expect there will always be people staying late, resulting from a mix of deadlines and high ambition. MadQueen also learned that studio is taking more steps to limit crunch and make it work for everyone, which included a survey inside the company with the devs on how they should approach this. So now you have the full story on what is actually going on. Keep in mind, none of those people will write about this because, hey, whenever crunch is mentioned and whenever CD Projekt Red is mentioned, they will be sure to put that company in the same cup as all of the other companies that actually are not doing anything to reduce crunch and to make the workplace better for their developers. And look, I don't say that developers should work their butts off just for my enjoyment. That is absolutely not the case here. But if a company is taking a different approach to that and actually trying their best to make it enjoyable, why not also disclose that? Why only push one narrative? You are telling me that none of you that wrote these articles never worked harder on something because it's that part of production? And look, I was involved in various productions from TV, theater and film, and trust me, during some stages we had to work really long hours to have everything finished. But there is a catch. On one project I was working extra without pay or normal working conditions. That is bad. That is what we need to fight against. But during some productions, we had everything we wanted. We actually were consulted about our schedule, when can we finish stuff, do we have anything extra to work on, and that was enjoyable. I still had to work more, but in every single production it's like that. Some stages just require you to work more, to meet all the deadlines, to meet everyone's expectations. And keep in mind, if there wasn't crunch in the industry, in any industry, you're telling me that the market would actually approve of that? You're telling me that all of these companies are printing out games every single year and that their developers are not crunching? Are you kidding me? And I know that. I went into this industry because I knew that some parts of that production are going to be crunchy, that I'm going to work overtime. Don't think I didn't know that. But it's how a certain boss is going to treat you. That is the catch. If I'm going to work overtime and I'm going to be treated like shit, that's bad. If I'm going to work overtime and the boss wants to consult with me, they want to know my schedule, they're really invested in keeping the crunch at a normal level, I am all for that. Honestly, because that is how the industry works. That is how this industry was built in the first place. So in the end, be careful what you read online and don't jump to conclusions straight away. Look at both sides, stay open-minded and tell me down below what you think about this. We also gave you the voice of a developer from CD Projekt Red. So you can freely decide what you think about this. And this will be everything for today. I know this video was a bit more angry than usual, but I am sick and tired of different medias turning stories for clicks and traffics to actually damage a company that is doing their best to be the light and hope of this goddamn industry. This is LKM signing out. Don't forget to smash that like and subscribe button for more. Also, MadQueen, TripleSLeague and Neon Arcade are making their own statements about this, so definitely check out their channels as well and join our growing community on Twitter and Discord. Stay classy everyone and bye bye.